everybody, I'm Jess. Welcome back for Anime Book Club. We are pretty deep into the season now, so if you haven't been watching these shows, just put us on mute or skip the section if you come to a show you don't want spoilers for. We're going to be talking about, it's mostly, I think, episode 8 for this week in most of the shows that we're watching, or further on if you're in second season and things like that. But I can't wait to get started. It has been an exciting week. Erik, please join me. I'm ready. Let's do this. There's Erik. Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Oh, I like how we're both blue today. We're both blue and we're matching.
We are. We're my color.
It's true. It was a I would like to say it was an interesting week, and it was an interesting week for anime, but it was a super disappointing week because there was a freaking recap episode of freaking Wonder Egg, and it just I look forward to Wonder Egg every friggin' Tuesday. It is the highlight of my Tuesday.
We got a recap though.
Yeah.
I mean, it did refresh my memory of some things. I learned that they all have a catchphrase. I didn't pick that up till now.
Yeah. It was helpful to have like the two dudes that are fake things explaining to you things that were only kind of like insinuated in the earlier episode.
Yeah. He just confirmed a lot of the things that you had to pick up along the way.
Yeah. So, but. Yeah. Let's get started.
All
Erik's
right.
favorite show this week, guaranteed.
Oh my god! So you don't even understand what happened. Like. So.
Oh, hang on. Let me go to the next slide.
Oh my god! So the creator pretty much threw an atomic bomb in the center of the entire When They Cry community. Like the When They Cry community is split into like factions between, like, because like the Higurashi fans don't really, they don't necessarily have all seen Yumineko. Same thing for Yumineko, they haven't all seen Higurashi. And then the third group is Syconia, which is this game that came out. It was supposed to be part 1 and part 2 released last year, but then because of COVID, part of it got delayed. So they have like part of the game, but not the full thing. So Syconia is like the new fan base, and all 3 communities were just like in chaos for the last week as they all try to figure out what in the world is happening.
For those of you who are missing, you met Featherine at the end of the last episode because now Sadako has become a time traveling looper person. But then Featherine is like, "Well, who are you?" And then she names off like a whole bunch of other characters from other properties in the like concurrent universe type stuff from other properties.
Yeah. So and the craziest, like, these are the connections that most of the connections are things that we already kind of like guess, that Satoko is also the character Lambda Delta and Yumineko. We kind of guessed that, right? But what really threw a wrench into the whole community is she also called her all the names of what's her name? God, Takano. Like all of Takano's names, she called her that as well. And so they're suggesting that Satoko and Takano, which are 2 characters in Yumineko, are actually the same soul and is going through multiple dimensions. And we thought they were 2 separate characters, and now like everything we've known for the last like 15 years is all out the window.
I guess that's the way it rolls. When you're the creator, you just do whatever the crap you want, and it's like, yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
This was we're getting back to the violent gore of Higurashi that it's kind of known for in this episode, which I appreciated because I was a little bit tired of watching Sadako both whine a lot and then get kidnapped by a school, which was weird. And then looping again and trying to go through you going through like 5 years of time again, like at this point, at least a few, you know?
Yeah, that was really weird because she made the same choices. Like she didn't like make any alterations, and she knew that once she get into she knew the workload. Like she knew that this is a tough school. It's not going to be easy. So I don't know what her end game was once she got into the school. Did she think that like whatever, I'm just going to coast for whatever reason I couldn't do it in the first time? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And why didn't she know a lot of this stuff from the first time? Because she's already studied for it, and clearly they keep it was expressly said that she keeps her memories between timelines. Like there's not even doubt of that. Like you still had this information. So if
anything, right? So if anything, she was like, "Oh, the reason why I couldn't do well in school is because I've been cramming for the entrance exams for so many years that it's like I'm burnt out and I just don't want to relax, right?" Well, then now you don't have to study that hard during the cram time. You can just like relax during the cram sessions because you already know the material. You've already taken the test and passed, right?
Yeah,
So you learned it.
yeah.
So it's like relax for the cram period and then work hard for the school period and you're good. But no, Sadako is just an idiot.
No,
Like
you're
I
right.
hate her.
But I mean, and I get it. She goes through it again, and she tries different tactics to get Rika to stay, and they don't really work. But Rika did become kind of a bougie jerk, even still in this new timeline. Okay.
I'm not mad at her. Rika can do no wrong in my book. I'm not mad at her. Okay,
I
but she
don't
offered to
know,
help.
man.
Like
She
okay,
did.
like
She
you
offered
grow
to
up
help,
and
but
you
then
get new friends.
it,
You expand your
even
friend group
more.
out of your little tight knit circle, right?
Even more in timeline Sadako number 2, okay? Even more so. She's looking down her nose at her. Like Rika has a bad attitude for Sadako. It went once they get to this like fancy bougie school, okay? She just does.
I don't
And
think so. I
like
think we're just seeing it from Satoko's point of view, and
I
Satoko
mean,
sees it
maybe
as her best friend betraying her.
it could be an unreliable narrator, but the way that it is shown to us on the screen is Rika's kind of a jerk. And I mean, I can't really get past that. Like, I'm not saying she deserves to die and be imprisoned for 100 more years worth of looping. Don't get me wrong, okay? But she did kind of act like a jerk, and then the timeline reset, and she still kind of acted like a jerk, okay?
I don't
And
think
she's
she did
real
anything
super
wrong.
prissy, and she's putting on airs and crap, and I wouldn't hang out with her. She's not the kind of person that I would want to be around, but you
I
know,
don't think she did anything wrong. Rika does no wrong in my book.
like Griffith did nothing wrong. Is that where you're going now?
No, like Rika and Homura, they did nothing wrong. It's the world that's wrong. My Looper girls.
I was gonna say vampires and looper girls. That's your types, man.
Yeah, but I want to talk about the snap. When Satoko snapped her fingers, that was the most beautiful thing. It was so poetic. It was so beautiful. Like Thanos couldn't snap that hard. When the chandelier fell, I was like, yes.
Hey, so I don't really watch like the end credits. Was that chandelier falling in the end credits all season? Because there was
No, it
definitely a
wasn't. It
chandelier
was
falling
just
in
it was
the end
brought in
credits.
just for this episode.
Okay, because it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. This might be my favorite of the week too. It was delightful. It was a well crafted episode. So I look forward to
Yeah.
see how we're gonna basically back to where we started in the resolution of Sadako being, the crazy looper. So
I just want to see Satoko get her head bashed in. That's all I want to see.
you've been waiting for that for so long.
I have.
Heaven's design team. Heaven's design team was delightful. It is never not delightful. I love every.
It gets
freaking
really
bit.
weird at times though.
It
Like
does. No,
the
okay,
seals were
so
so weird. Like it's weird in anime sense, and it's even weirder when you realize that this is 100% accurate.
Mom posted to Instagram and she used the picture of all of the Sadako different kind of characters of Spider-Man as our picture for like Instagram and Twitter this week, and I really appreciate that.
I mean, that's a great picture.
That is true. I feel like watching this show that, especially the first half of this episode, I feel like God as the client is just like a stoner, and he's sitting on a couch getting high and eating like Cheetos or something and going, it'd be really cool? An animal with bones outside of its body. Wouldn't that be cool, guys? Yeah. Like, that's what I feel like.
Technically, I don't think God made this request. I think this was just a side project of that guy who likes to eat stuff.
God made some other request about like they're weird ones, but there was like a specific God request in this one at the beginning, where it resulted in this like bone thing that he was trying to do and stuff. It was like, but then we got to like this weird scene that I thought was going to be peacocks. I really thought it was going to be peacocks, but it was some fluffy bird thing.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Venus. Venus is absolutely fabulous, and I absolutely love it.
So we're going. I'm positive there's going to be lots of cosplays for Venus and Pluto. Like
Yeah,
that's going to be the big thing for 2022.
yeah. This episode, you learned about seals, and you learned about this fluffy, weird bird thing, and
Yeah,
yeah,
the
we had
bird that like. I whenever I watch this episode, I go back and look at the actual real animals. That bird is actually terrifying.
it
He puffs up so
really is.
much, like his whole back wings just become like I don't even know, but it's terrifying. Like if you
It
see that
is.
late at night, you think
It
like
is.
a monster is coming after you.
I'm still amused by this show, like 8 episodes in, which I'm pleasantly surprised with because this is
Yeah,
like a very loose concept, and I feel like we weren't going to be here and entertained, but we are, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you, Heaven's Design team. We appreciate you every single week.
yep.
Okay,
On the
so
other
now on
hand,
to something very depressing. It was a
boy,
bad day for red blood cell. A very bad
that should have been
day.
the name of
Oh
the
my
episode. Another bad day.
Oh my
Um,
god.
I knew
One of
best
these
friend was
people
gonna.
is no longer around. I wonder.
I knew best friend was gonna die sooner or later. Like I knew it. Like I just felt it. Because
Best friend.
he wasn't doing his job. He was just barely making do. Like I knew he was dead weight, and now he's just dead.
Now he's just dead. But man, main character MC Red Blood Cell did not take it well. And I feel like it's really weird because they're red blood cells. He's watched a lot of people that he works with die. And granted, this was like his best friend, and I get that. But you've watched a lot of people die in this show. Like a lot. And I feel like he's
Yeah, he
watching people
has.
die every day, you know? And not
I
even because of
mean,
the stress, but because
in the,
red blood cells just kind of flow out and they die sometimes. So
in the situation though, I think he has to desensitize himself a little bit though. Like I think he has to like take a step back and say, yeah, we're dying. It's a bad situation, but at the same time, like now someone so close to him died, and so he's done. I don't think he can come back. He can't come back into that work environment and be like, oh well, we're happy to be here, happy to do my job, delivering oxygen. No,
yeah.
but in the previous shows, he's freaking out. He's gonna do something drastic.
He is, and he's like not calling in, and he's like, I've given up on life, and I mean, like, can you do that as a red blood cell? Because I feel like you're like dictated by some directive that you can't
I
actually do that.
mean, creative license.
I guess. Unrelated to the actual show this week, but still super cool. Yaya Han actually did a cosplay of the white blood cell from this version of the show with like the cleavage and
Oh,
everything. And it's the
hmm
best. It is exactly what you would imagine an actual human being would look like as that character. Like you could
okay.
not get
I
it
have to
more
check it out.
perfect. It's like amazing looking. Absolutely amazing looking. Um, uh, Paranja says, shouldn't he be dying soon too? Yes, red blood cells don't live that long. That's kind of one of the weird things about this show too. Like, this has been a lot of time through a lot of different illnesses, and the idea that the same red blood cells are here and not new ones is actually not how the body actually works. But we're
Yeah,
just suspending our disbelief for the series so that we can keep following somebody. But you know,
I still think this show should be shown like every Friday at high schools across the country to be like, hey, here, don't be this guy, don't be this
yeah,
human,
it does. It
because this
really
human
does
needs like
inspire
serious
you.
intervention. Like
It
he
it
needs
it
serious
does.
intervention.
It does inspire you to take better care of yourself because you're
Yeah,
thinking
I
about it
got
and
my
you're like, oh
water. I got my water.
god, I think I got my water too.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was a heavy episode, and we're definitely gonna get some more heavy stuff. Is this show only going to 12? I feel like it is, because
Yeah,
how would this
I
human
can't
survive?
I can't imagine this being 24 because that's just too much.
This
That's
will be
way
the
too
first one
much.
we finish because they like piled all those episodes onto one week for a while.
Oh yeah. What episode number are we on? We're on
10, 10.
10. Not Oh, so we only have like two more, which makes sense that he'd be in this state
Mm-hmm,
right now. Okay.
mm-hmm.
I am excited.
Yep, yep. Oh, look, it's
Quintuplets.
quintuplets. Mm.
Okay. This show So the way the direction this show is going right now reminds me a little bit of My Little Pony, where when My Little Pony started, right? When My Little Pony started, everyone it was like a collective understanding that Rarity was the worst pony. Like there was a collective understanding, but then like they threw in nothing but character development episodes for Rarity and just Rarity. Like there was like three back to back, and no one else got any development but Rarity until finally all the Rarity fans showed up like, oh, she's my favorite. Okay, fine. Like I feel like this is what they're trying to do with Nino.
Nino,
Like,
yeah. There's a lot of Nino development all at once. You're right. And it does feel weird because like the early part of this season, it was all over the place. It was like one episode had development for maybe like three girls on like a tiny level kind of thing, except for Yotsuba. Yeah,
yeah,
she doesn't get any development because she's just dumb.
at
I don't
all.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not into her at all. But yeah, you're right. They're throwing Nino in our face. And also, all right, I get you want to make your grandpa happy, but mimicking your sister and all dressing alike is creepy, even for quintuplets. I feel like this is still bordering on the creepy level. And their
Like
grandpa clearly didn't even care in the end. He's like, I just want them to be who they are. And it's like
I can't accept them doing this when they're 10, no, 8, 9. Once you're 10, 11, 12, high school, no, stop
no,
this. What are you
this is
doing?
weird. Why do
Like,
you have a
I'm
wig?
sure.
Why do you have a wig of your sister? Why do you own a wig that is your sister's hair? That's weird. Okay, that's weird and creepy. And
It
this whole
is.
that's why I took this image because it's creepy. Okay, this
So,
show is weird.
so on one hand, I'm a little disappointed that Miku ended up being the girl that was dressed up as her in the previous episode. But on the other hand, I guess it's not as big of a deal because not they all do it. But I was thinking, man, you're a little. Why would someone dress up as Ichiki? No, yeah, Ichiki
Itsuki.
is that one. Why would someone dress up as her in order to tell Futuru that like, oh no, you can't be our tutor anymore? It doesn't make any sense. But now her reasoning does. I kind of get it. She wants him to stop being their tutor. That way she can pursue him romantically. I don't think that's the optimal way of going about it. Nino is a lot more forward and just cut the crap route about it. But whatever.
Whatever. I'm still Team Ichika. Ichika is my number one. Ichika is the one who has a job. Ichika is like
Yeah.
taking a back seat to her sister, who she thinks loves him, and like Ichika is A plus. I like her. She's my number one. Okay. So
I'm pretty sure she's the one that dressed up as what's
if
her
it turns
name?
out she dressed up as Rena, then I'm gonna be freaked out by it. Don't like. I don't
And
accept that.
you know the weird thing? Rena, the grandfather revealed that Rena is the name of their mother. So she used her mother's name, her dead mother's
That's
name.
real weird. That's
I
real
know.
super weird.
So,
Like.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. This whole show is uncomfortable for me for many different reasons. I don't know. I don't know that this was my bottom of the barrel this week though, because Yashahime sure was a thing this week. But you know,
I mean, I don't think we'll get there.
we'll get Spider.
We'll get there.
Spider was fun this week.
Spider was good.
Yeah, Spider gave us a lot of information, and I really appreciated the visuals of their original characters versus their names. And you know what I mean? Like to give you some kind of context to separate them and have some attachment to who they were and who they are and stuff. Like that was a good step in my opinion.
So like I don't have their names memorized yet. And so when they went back into like the flashback and they showed the original forms, I was even like, okay, who is that? Okay, that sounds like the boy
I didn't know either, but but trying to give us some kind of reason to care about the human characters, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I care enough, you know, for the storyline purpose, but I don't really care about any of the human characters because we just haven't seen that much of them or know that much about them, you know. So that helped with this.
You got to see who's definitely the villain and who's definitely like the one stirring up trouble in the background. That weird girl at the vending machine.
Yeah.
Not to be say, okay, the weird girl has to be the villain, not to be like that, but like, she's really suspect right now.
All right, Erik, whatever you say. Whatever you say.
But let's see. So one thing that confused me is why did the teacher say the main character was dead? Like, did you watch after the credits?
I did, and it did not make any sense. I do not know.
I'm torn whether I don't know if she actually thinks the main character is dead, but is mistaken, or if she's just telling them that the main character is dead in order to throw them off the tracks. One interesting thing that could happen. What if the main character died twice? What if she was brought back, died again, and came back as a spider? And that's why she's like, because everyone else has been in the world for like 10 years or 15 years. She's only been around for like a week, which would explain that.
Yeah, and because correct me if I'm wrong, but the main character did not interact with the hero guy, and that they gave you like a misdirect, like the hero guy was coming into the cave, but then they wound up fighting a different spider monster. Has she interacted with any of the characters yet?
No, she hasn't. She hasn't seen any human that she knows besides the random group that was in the cave.
Yeah, the random group is not the blue-haired guy's brother either. That was a different group, right? So you're right. It could be that what we're watching with the spider is like 10 years ago, and she died and becomes like a new character, in the world, and takes what she's learned from her first thing to really min-max it and optimize it, and then she's like the big bad monster, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so there's lots of options for this. I'm excited.
I do not want spoilers on the stream or in the chat, Paranja. However, I do want them later. You can tell Brian he can send me a message later, but don't put it in the chat, okay? So.
One thing I also like is that the main character now has like her own council of voices in her head, just like the villainess.
Yeah. And
I love that. I love that, like they don't give each other breaks. They're like, shut up, man, we're working here. Like, you're the new one. We have business to take care of. Like, I love that she's like beats herself up sometimes.
It's great. The show is very entertaining, and I cannot wait to see more. Although we're already on episode 8, and I feel like I don't know where we're going with the end of the season, or even the end of like the half season if they do 24 or something. I don't know. We've just spent a lot of time on some random stuff. So, okay.
All right. Now we're at Yashahime. Oh boy. Toa.
Yeah.
So the episode wasn't bad for large majority of it. Like, it was like, okay, we're seeing. We saw some backstory. We saw like some plot progression, but like the whole thing with the jewels is really weird. I don't know who this woman is. I thought she was part of the. She seemed like she was part of the bad guys.
Yeah, she seemed like she was like a demon, and that she was alive in the present with the other like demon guy. But she said in the past, "Oh, now I'm mortal and I don't have any power." Well, then why are you still alive? And why are you hanging out with the demon guy? And you had the Shikon jewel randomly, and then put all your stuff into it, and then it split into these rainbow jewels. Like, way to steal stuff from Sailor Moon, by the way, because that's kind of what Sailor Moon did. But okay, we'll go with that for now. And then there's
Rainbow
no
Pearl still
what to do, and
like. And the rainbow pearls are so weak. Like, no one has really benefited from owning one. Like, literally, it almost seems like having a rainbow pearl makes you more susceptible to losing your next fight.
Yeah, and they're all over the place with powers too. It's like, what? And if they only existed after this woman made them, how many people went through them and like passed them from person to person and knew what to even do with them?
How did it even get split up in the beginning? Like, why does she not have all 7? Why does Riku not have all? He was there when they were made. And when they asked him about it, they were like, "Oh, what happens when all the jewels are formed?" He was like, "I don't know. They've never been together." You literally was there when they were made.
Right there when they were right next to each other. I know. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
This show is really weird.
Physically harms my soul. I can't. And I will remind you, we're on episode 21 of this, okay? So there's like 3 or 4 more episodes before we're done with the whole, like, the big season. And it's like,
I mean,
we got
it
so
might
many
just be like
plots,
Nar or Inuyasha or Naruto. It just might just go on forever.
but
I don't
there's so
know.
many plots going on. It's not like we're even in an arc. It's like we're just throwing it at you. Throwing
Yeah.
the butterfly and throwing the wren in a tree and
Yeah.
throwing the demon guy.
She
Like
saw the butterfly in her dream and she chased after the butterfly to the tree and then like they forgot about it. They literally
yeah, they
forgot
just
that
forgot
she
about
went
it.
to the
I
tree
know.
and it's like and then the ending of the episode was just like she gave him her pearl and it's like but why though? And
And it's
there were so
dumb.
many questions. Why did he confess that he loved her? Oh,
I
there's nothing but questions in this episode.
oh,
And Toa, like Setsuna was supposed to be the incompetent one. She was supposed to be the one that just has no common sense.
well,
Toa, I expected better from you.
then you've got Toa talking to like freaking Kaede or whatever, you know, the old lady, and old lady is like, yeah, I knew your mom. I knew your mom real well. Why don't you ask her about it? I mean, I'm just saying, like she didn't
Why
have
is
a
no
lot
one
to say
teaching these
about
kids?
that. Like, and
Like, but Kaede is really old. Kaede shouldn't even be alive right now. Like, she was
I'm
old back when Kikyo was like still a teenager, right?
I
So
know.
Kaede, like, I don't blame her for not being like, I'm not raising these kids. I don't blame her.
No, and I get that, but like she knows information, and I feel like Toa just she's so flippant about being in this place, and it's like if I'd have abandoned everything I've ever known in my life to go to a different like zone, right? And I think I would be real focused on my goal, and she's
Yeah,
not. She's not at all. It's like jaunting through a merry field, you know? I'm distracted
yeah,
by this and I'm distracted by that. And like, what are you doing? What you don't even you have no codified plan to find anything. And it's like, when was the last time we actually went in search of the dream butterfly stuff? Because it's been a long time, several episodes, other than this like random dream, and it's like almost like it gave it to them and then forgot about it by the end of the episode. What?
so super
Oh,
quick tangent. You know what your comments reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of the main character in Genshin Impact, where she's supposed to be looking for her brother, but like she's doing all these side quests that has nothing to do with it. It's like, wait a minute, you definitely have a goal here that you aren't even passively
yeah,
following.
but I'm like delivering
Whatever.
food for Sarah at like the Lonely Hunter or something, and it's like, ah, yeah, yep.
Yeah, about that brother. Have you seen him? No, good. No, you haven't. Okay,
Yeah. Oops.
but yeah,
But yeah,
Yashahime
Yashahime
continues
is
to disappoint.
Yashahime is probably my low point of the week yet again.
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Yashahime. Appreciate you. Yeah.
someone has to set the bar though.
Ugh.
Okay,
Depressingly, Wonder Egg was a recap this week.
still not the worst show of the week though.
It's not. I'd rather watch the Wonder Egg recap than I would have watched Yashahime. Oh my
Oh
god!
my god,
If you haven't watched Wonder Egg, it's a good recap to get back, but you should watch the
it
whole thing.
is.
But it
If
was
you're so desperate to get into it, but you don't want to watch the other episodes, I mean, you can. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to, you can.
you could just watch the episode. And
Um,
now you'd be wrong, and you need to watch
yeah,
the rest of the episodes because it's wonderful. But you know,
yeah. We learned, like I said earlier, we learned that they had catchphrases. Like,
yeah, we did.
oh, why is the Niru say I want to blow your mind? Like, why is that her catchphrase? I don't get it, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. Maybe her sister
All
like
right,
used a gun and blew her brains out. I mean, maybe it means something.
possibly.
A little late, but yeah, content warning. This show is all about suicide. So if you watch it, it's all about suicide.
Yeah. All right, Horimiya.
Horimiya. I don't know.
Um,
Horimiya was weird this week. I really liked Horimiya last week, and I don't think I did this week. It was
yeah. I mean,
weird.
I like once again, Hori, you need to chill out. I will kink shame you today. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
do a little shaming of Hori here too. Like that was I kind of got it when she's like, "Why aren't you playful with me?" And I get that, but like this scene, and I'm like,
yeah, that's what
just
you're fantasizing about. And she was like, "Yeah, that's kind of hot." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah, I don't know. Nairman
At
says
least they
it's
didn't
trying too
focus on
hard.
it too hard.
Yeah. Nairman says it's trying too hard to pair everybody up. And I mean, I kind of agree with that, but it's that kind of show, so I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they made the main couple super compelling for the first chunk of episodes, and I'm gonna be honest, I just don't care about a lot of the other characters, or I didn't for a
So
long time. I
I
care
like
about
the
the blonde
ships that
character.
I like the ships that the characters themselves aren't pursuing. Like Yuki, the blonde girl, and the
Yeah,
blind guy. I like them. I
yeah,
think that could have worked if she would have gave him a chance because he can't see anything and he's trying his best. Like
yeah.
I
He
if
is
she would have
super
gave him a
blind.
chance, he could have proven himself.
Yeah, I agree with your notes that I don't like the way that they have completely flip flopped on Remy, and that she's just Twin Tails is all over the board. It's like she was a jerk. She was like a
Yeah,
giant jerk in like the first couple of episodes. And now she's like this endearing person with the student council president, and they had like a basically non-existent relationship, but now they might. Yeah, it doesn't make any
so
sense. It's not cohesive.
I think maybe it's handled better in the manga, I don't know. But I think the core premise of the show is to portray characters that might seem one way in public or in their social circles, but then when they go home or when they're around someone they care about, they're completely different. Because that was the theme for Hori, that was the theme for main boy, I can't remember his name. And
Miyamura.
so Miyamura, I mean I have so many names to remember this season.
It's Hori
But
Mia. It's their names. Hori is her
okay,
name, and Mia is
okay.
Miyamura, which is his name.
So
That's what you should
that's the
remember.
theme
It's the name of the show.
for for Remy, it feels like they're trying to do the same thing, but they want to show that yeah, she kind of like is problematic, and when you first see her, she's lazy, she doesn't do her student council work, and she puts it off on other people. But when you pull back the curtain, she's actually like she cares for her friends, and she just
Yeah,
plays around a little bit too much, right? And so I feel like there's a way to connect all these sides of her personality together, but instead of showing it connected, they just show like almost a completely different character, and it's up to
yeah.
the viewer to kind of like piece it together. And I think like it could work. It's just not being handled very well. Her particular
I don't think
character.
I'd like. She's like my most hated of characters. Even still, it's like you're not endearing me to her. It's just making it weird because it doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't match. It doesn't match what we saw earlier. It doesn't match when she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna date Miyamura," even though she's already dating the other guy. And it's like,
yeah.
no, you just a
She was just
jerk.
playing around. Then she's like she wasn't
Yeah,
serious, and she actually admitted I think to someone that she wasn't. She was just joking around. But they had to like really portray that part of her character that she likes to play around with like that. But it's like right now it just feels like you don't know whether she's being genuine and you question everything she does. Like even when she's talking about green haired girl, I'm not completely sure that that's her true opinion of her. So
yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. I feel like this show is a little bit suffering now and the all over the place. This episode was a little bit all over the place for me.
yeah.
I don't know. I still like the show a lot. I I do like Miyamura trying to be like dominant and failing spectacularly at it, which was kind of great. It was weird, but it was kind of funny. But that whole sequence was a little bit strange. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
because it felt weirdly out of character. Even still, even though these people have two personas, it just felt out of character for both of them, like a lot.
It feels out of
So
character for her to have this kink too. Like it feels like something that they just threw in for like. I feel like this is just an issue with the manga. Like this was thrown in for a
yeah.
chapter, and they made a whole
Well,
episode
like
for it.
I said, I think it would have made a lot more sense if it's like, oh, you're really formal around me, but you're really casual and jokey around your friends. Why aren't you casual and jokey and, like ribbing me? But that's not how they portrayed it. They definitely
Yeah,
portrayed it like this image shows, you know what I mean? And it's like that's what made it weird. Like if it was just
yeah.
like, oh, he's gonna mess around and joke around with me, it would be one thing. But this is a little different. And then he like yells at her in the school, and everybody's like, oh my god.
And the underclassman thinks that he's like trying to beat her.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll continue with the show as it goes. I look
Skate.
forward to skating every single week.
Oh my god!
Ugh.
It
So
just gets weirder and weirder.
it does. So
But I mean,
we had angsty Lenga and Reki in the last episode. Reki was like losing his mind with jealousy about Lenga being so much better, and I'll never catch him. And he's so in lesbians. And I love this episode with Langa's mom, who's
Oh my
like
god.
really talking about a girl you like, and he's like, a girl? And it's like,
He
this
like,
is so gay. This
cause
joke
he,
is
cause he like,
so
he like,
gay.
make sure to tell her that you love her or something. He's like, her.
Make sure to tell Reki that you love him. Tell Reki that you love him, Langa. Everybody wants it.
Oh my god.
This image is not from the episode. It was just funny, and I found it on the internet. So,
Oh my god. Adam is insane. Like Adam is
oh, I
insane.
love Adam. Adam is my favorite character. He's not redeemable in any way. Don't get me wrong, but he's still my favorite character because I cannot wait to see what weird stuff he's gonna do every single week. This week was
Yeah, but
explosions on the stage and fireworks and
so
yeah.
so so he's a showman. He loves putting on a show, and that's why you like him. Because at least he's entertainment.
He's also like a sadist, and it's weird, and it manifests in real weird ways. Oh
But
my god!
it seems. I mean, it seems that his secretary has a backbone now, because his secretary was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to take the fall from you."
Oh no,
But
he
now
wasn't. He's like, I
no,
taught
no,
him how to
I'm in this
skateboard.
tournament to win.
What was that? Oh, bam, right here. That's me showing up and showing off and showing you up. I mean, like,
Beat him by
dude
2
is
whole
not
seconds.
he's not taking it whatsoever. I got a problem with Cherry's skateboard. Okay, how is that legal? How is that
I mean,
legal? Okay,
Shadow is
that's
literally throwing lasers in people's eyes in the middle of the dark. Like,
I know.
so
And everybody's just
so
like, oh, he does that. Like, he could have blinded that dude. All right, like absolutely blinded that dude.
yeah, this tournament has no rules. Like, it's just whoever gets there faster. So at that point, is it even about skill? Cherry, I don't even know. I mean, he's a good skater, but that board definitely gives him an advantage.
It does. And it's like I feel like that shouldn't be legal. But yeah, I get that there's no rules, but if there was no rules, then more people would, I'm gonna have my buddies throw sticks under your board halfway down the track. I like there's a lot of things you could do to sabotage people.
Yeah.
And the only person that's really sabotaging people is freaking Shadow. I mean, like Adam's doing weird crap, but it's mostly like playful random dancing thing. So
I mean, he is sending people almost to their deaths. That one boy fell off a cliff.
Yeah, that is true. That kid definitely broke some things, if not died. So
Yeah.
Adam definitely seems like someone powerful enough that, like, if something happened, that it could go away. So
we are like they're in a tournament arc. We always know, like, once you see the initial pairings, you kind of know who's going to win each round. But there's an interesting situation now where Langa is facing against Joe. And so we're like, is Langa really good enough to beat Joe right now? But he has to, because he has to face Adam. So you know that, like, Langa's gonna win. But if Joe loses, that means Cherry has to also lose. So it's like, because you can't have Joe beat Cherry. So I don't know. So I feel like Joe's gonna lose to Langa, and then Cherry gonna have to fight Adam next week, and then Cherry's gonna lose to Adam, because that's the only way the tournament works out.
Yeah, I agree. And then you're gonna have Shadow and Mia, and then Mia's gonna beat Shadow because Mia's a better skater than Shadow.
Yeah. We all know the results.
Yeah, we know.
I love that Cherry was like, this whole tournament is a farce because we all know who the winner is going to be. Like, yes. Like, why are you wasting your time? Like, all the scrubs got knocked out. Like, it wasn't even an issue. Like, yeah, whatever. Move on to the next round.
The only scrub that got through was the secret Adam's former lover / servant. Because tell me they weren't in love. Tell me they were not.
Yeah.
They were in love. It's a thing. It's a thing, man. It's a thing. There's a lot of comments about that there are no rules, and that's why skate's legal. No rules except for personal honor. Yeah, Shadow doesn't have a lot of personal honor as far as, like, honoring any rules. He definitely tried to laser some dude's eyes. Okay.
Yeah. He threw like firecrackers at one guy, like, and it got bounced back. the servant guy. Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, yeah. But I look forward to this show every single freaking week. And largely it's because of Adam, because he's ridiculous. And he's got this whole backstory of where he learned to be a good boy from being beat on the arms from like his aunts and stuff. That's how we show we
yeah,
love
that's
you. And that's like, somebody's got some real neuroses going on there. Like, oh my God.
yeah. There's a lot of weird people in that family, honestly.
Yeah, little bit. I guess that's what it is to be like part of a rich dynasty family. Oh.
Apparently.
All
All
right,
right.
Titan. So Titan was interesting this week. I don't know. Okay, so you in this week's episode, there's an explosion that kills one of the general dudes. There's an insurrection of people that, and also simultaneously, Eren breaks out, and a whole bunch of people defect and make a new army because they agree with Eren instead of with the Parisian Paradisian government, right? And it's yeah, yeah, it was a thing this week. So a lot's going
Yeah,
on here.
they really want to paint Aaron as the villain now, which is weird because it's like he's from the perspective of the viewer. He has been the hero the whole time. Like
Yeah,
he is our perspective into the world. We see everything kind of through him, and so now the whole show kind of broke off from Aaron, and it seems like they're just like it seems like we're following Armin and Mikasa now, while Aaron is off
yeah.
doing his own thing.
Yeah, you
Um,
don't have a lot of insight into Eren. But then you've also got the old guy is just like, yeah, if they broke off and if they have more firepower than us, cool. We work for them now. And he's just like gonna roll with it. Like, I
I
just thought
mean,
that
but
was like,
like I think that's the correct decision though, because it's like, why are you wasting manpower, time, and resources fighting against
no,
yourself? Like,
I agree. No,
there's,
I get that, but he was just it was like instant. I mean, like, dude was just like, nope, this is what we're gonna do. I mean, we
I think
don't
he
have
should have
enough
been the leader from
people.
day one. Like, if he was the
No,
leader from the start, we wouldn't be in this situation. Like, I'm sure they could have come to some type of agreement if he was the leader from the start. Because the other guy was like, yeah, we're going to keep Aaron in the basement and like secretly planned to steal his Titan powers and already had a successor picked out. Like, come on now. Like, really? You really trying to kill Aaron of all people? The person that has like how many Titan power? 3 Titan powers now? Like, really?
yeah.
That doesn't make any
I
sense.
You made a point about that Mikasa and Armin not understanding where Aaron's head is at, and I agree with that. It doesn't make sense to me because they've spent like their whole lives together, and they've basically gone through a lot of the same shit together too. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't understand why they don't really conceptualize where he's at. I mean, yeah, he's gone through different stuff, but even Armin is a Titan too, and had like horrific stuff happen to him and things like that. So I don't get why
So
they don't understand it a little bit better because they feel like they're completely outside, like completely outside.
I think Mikasa doesn't understand. I think Armin understands more than what he's letting on. I think Armin might be he might be a double agent because when they were running to the door and he was like, Mikasa, we can't spy on these people. What if you get caught? His reasoning seemed awfully convenient for a door that was literally about to explode. I think Armin might have
Mm,
known that door was going to explode, and he was like, "No, Mikasa, like I rigged explosives in there. Like we
yeah,
can't run in there." And then he might have he might have not intended to blow it up right then and there, but he was like, "Okay, she's literally about to run in. Let me just blow it up right here." So I think
yeah.
Armin might be behind some of this.
I mean, I could see
Because
that.
also Armin was like the moment right before the old guy came in, Armin was like, "Oh, there's only one person we can turn to now. It has to be what's his name, uh, I forgot the old guy." And then he just
Yeah,
comes in and says, "Yeah, we're letting Aaron do whatever he wants. We have other stuff to do."
yeah.
So
No, I could see that. I could see that. Um, glamour shot of Aaron here, just
now
just for
in the
everybody.
sunlight,
Glamour shot.
it's like the Baywatch shot.
It is. It absolutely is. Aaron is cut, man. He's absolutely cut. He went from being Lieutenant Dan at some medical facility to like I'm gonna take off my shirt and become the biggest Titan you've ever seen. And look at my abs. Look at my
That
abs.
is that is really ripped. I like even for an anime character, that is ripped abs.
You could grate some cheese
Oh
on those abs, okay?
yeah,
Like, my God.
yeah.
Ugh. All right, slime.
Slime.
Slime was a good episode this week. Slime.
I think
Slime was
slime was the
an
best of the week.
I
So
don't know. Maybe. I liked Slime this week. It
I
was really good.
I was not prepared for how that episode started. So so last week I was really worried that we're gonna find Shion's dead body in the streets. I'm like, oh my god, they killed her. But when they didn't mention any like major characters dying, I was like, okay, they pulled a like we lost casualties, but like only the red shirts, right?
Nobody
You know what I
important,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so Shion must be doing something important, and we'll get back to her. And then this episode, he's like, yeah, man, what's going on with Shion? And everyone's happy, and then all of a sudden it gets really dark. And I'm like, oh, we have something to show you. I'm like, oh no. And when he pulled back the covers and saw her dead body in the street, I was like, oh my god.
Oh man. That was rough. It was
Oh
super
my
rough.
god.
And like all of a sudden there's like energy explodes out of everywhere. And it's like, oh okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
I am a little disappointed that that they are like, oh yeah, but we can redo everything. We can bring everybody back to life. I kind of would love to have seen the consequences stay there because
Yeah.
like it just feels like it's just too convenient. But
It is.
whatever. Like we knew they
They
can't
hand waved it
kill
away.
main characters like
Hand
that
waved it
anyway.
away in the same episode that you got revealed that all of these people got killed, you know? Like or that the
Yeah,
important people got killed. Like the goblin dude, like the doofy goblin dude. I liked him. He was nice. But he's dead now. But he won't be dead for long, apparently. And it's like, all right.
yeah.
That it
So
was a little too convenient.
I am excited to see Rimuru just go into open season on these troops that are marching towards the town because like
Yeah,
he
so
is pissed. Like
you
he's like, you know what?
I feel like this
He's not
episode
gonna kill. You can go.
okay. So I feel like this episode started out with, oh no, we're sad, Shion's dead. Oh no, we can fix that. We have this special method. Oh no, we're sad because of there was like we're sad because of this, but no, we can fix that. Oh, I'm gonna fake kill Mulan, but no, she's not dead. I fake killed her, and we fixed that. Oh no, we're gonna have to take out Velma, and there'll be a power vacuum, but no, I'm gonna make Yom the king, and we fixed that, right? And it's like they found a fix for everything, and they didn't really talk about the whole idea of becoming a demon king and murdering 10,000 people and eating their souls. Not even just murdering
20,000.
souls.
He needs only 10,000, but they said 20,000 are approaching, and I don't think he's gonna like say we only need 10,000. We can like let the other 10,000 go. I think he's gonna take the full 20 as
like,
backup.
I feel like we're going to a misdirect where he's gonna do something that like makes all that go away. Like I know that's coming, but I just appreciate how this whole episode's crux was centered around the idea of consuming 5 figures worth of souls, and there was nothing like no negatives. There were no negatives here. No, that's a solution. Clearly.
Whatever. I'm not mad at him though. Because somebody has to pay for this. You can't just be like, it's a happy.
You know what we're coming back around to? You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds to me like Erik thinks Griffith did nothing wrong because this sure sounds like the King's Egg, and that we're consuming friends.
Whatever. I haven't even seen Berserk.
Plot of Berserk. This is the plot of Berserk. The only difference is they're his enemies and not his friends. But that's what happened in Berserk, and that was like the thing that started the whole Oh, you've never seen Berserk?
Well, so be
You've never
it. So be it. I don't think Rimmer was doing anything wrong in this situation. Like they sign up for this. They're marching on enemy territory. Like whatever. It's war. You've already taken casualties. Like
consuming
at this
their
point, just
souls. It is one thing to kill your enemies. It's one thing to fight your enemies. Consuming their
whatever.
souls to become a demon king. It's disturbingly unethical
No, it's
on like
not.
every level.
It's the natural
Every
order. It's the
level.
natural order.
The natural what is this dictator crap you're coming up in here with? The natural order. Get out right now.
Look,
Get
I
out.
fully support his plan. I can't wait to see him just drive into a battlefield and just nuke the whole place and be like, well, it is what it
Well,
is
I
because they
got another
deserve it.
problem.
They
I
killed
got another
Shion.
problem. They did. I got another problem with this episode though, and that's okay. You've got this whole rigmarole with Mulan and stuff, right? She caused this, and your people, a lot of them know she caused this. You can't just hand wave it away. You're gonna have
Well,
to have some kind of comeuppance, and then you're like, I want you to be with Yom, and that's like whole insinuating that they're gonna get together and get married or whatever. And then, oh, Yom, I want you to be king of Falmouth. Well, guess who's gonna all of a sudden get promoted to queen? Like, you've just basically appointed her queen. And do you think that your people are gonna be happy about that? That not only is she not in prison or dead, she's queen of another realm because you appointed her there? That's
he
crap.
does own her
That's
heart, though.
crap.
He does own her heart, which is not an insurance plan that he will cash in on, but he does have
But
insurance.
that doesn't matter to all these people who've watched their friends die. Okay, they've
Okay.
watched their friends and family die. Okay, like you can't get around that. There's political implications here.
So when he said, "Hey, you have to die. That's your sentence," I was like, you know what? Yeah, she kind of has to die.
She
Like
kinda does.
I knew they were going to like not have him literally kill her in his office. Like I knew that wasn't going to be a thing. But like technically, they kind of explained last episode. Technically, she didn't cause those people to die. She just caused them. So her barrier canceled out communication. So they couldn't
Yeah.
call for help because of her. And
But
the
she
person they would have called for help is
there's
Rimuru.
two groups. There's two groups that caused this to happen. And
Yeah.
one of them were the religious people, and one of them was her. So I mean, like, you can't get around that. You're just like arguing semantics now.
I know. I'm
alright?
just saying. Technically, her barrier only cut off communication, and the person they would have called was too busy anyway. Rimuru couldn't have come in that situation even if he wanted to. Technically, the church is more liable for those deaths than she is because they would have died whether or not she put the barrier anyway.
Do you think that like the small child goblin that was there really cares about this like
I
weird
know, but they're bringing them back.
romantic
They're bringing them back. I do that. I hope they still exile her. She can't come back in that village, but like technically her crimes isn't as bad as the church. And the church, they could just blow them all up.
I don't know if we can do this with you being a Mulan apologist over here. All
I'm not
right?
apologizing for her. I'm just saying that Rimuru has not done anything wrong yet.
Also, I need you to watch Berserk because I need you to understand how bad this is in reference to Berserk, okay? And how it's like a very bad thing to consume souls in order to become a demon lord. Because that's
I mean, he's gonna do it though.
Okay.
He's gonna do it though. He has enough for 2. So maybe he's gonna give the other 10,000 to somebody else. Because I don't think he's letting 10,000 go. Because that defeats the whole point. Because then like there's another army that can attack you later. Just wipe them off right now.
You just gotta
you kill the
whole family line so then you never have any like sons or daughters coming back to it.
Yeah.
Eric, I really want to question your ethics a little bit in this whole
Hey.
I got questions now that I didn't have before until we had
I'm just saying. They drew the first blood. They drew first blood.
Just saying. All right. I'm glad this doesn't carry over to your like real world politics, okay? I'd have a lot more questions then. It's very Machiavellian of you, all right? Like, all right. I did like Slime this week. I do think it was one of the strongest things we watched this week. So, Neverland.
More genocide.
Yeah, speaking of genocide here, they really
Like
need
that's
to
a
have
recurring
more.
theme for everything that we're watching: Attack on Titan, Slime, Neverland.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
I
Spider's
really
gonna go that direction too.
Uh, I think that Neverland really needs to have flashbacks to Norman's time in the Lambda facility because I don't think you really. I mean, like I said in the manga, this is like 3 or 4 years down the road, so it's like such a shortened time frame in the anime. You don't feel it as much. Um, but yeah, Corinne just said, "Yes, Spider had genocide with all those monkeys. There's no
Yeah,
more monkeys in the dungeon." That's fair.
no
That's
more
fair.
monkeys.
But
But
like Norman's messed up. Norman is pretty messed up here,
I don't think
and
he has a lot of. I don't think he has a lot of time. He was coughing up blood. That's not a good sign. Even
yeah.
though even our boy in Cells and Work isn't quite coughing up blood yet. So like,
It's true, because then the red blood cell would come straight out the front, like,
I mean, maybe that's a better experience, honestly, than being in the body. But
yeah,
um,
I feel like we
I
are
think
gonna get some backstory soon about Lambda and Norman and stuff, because it just feels like that's the way the narrative is going. Like the next episode, being a flashback, would make a lot of sense in a
yeah,
narrative structure. So I don't know
yes,
if
I think
that's
that's
where we're
where they're gonna
going,
go.
but yeah,
Um,
it is
so
hard.
I
I
like
do
I like
think that
Emma. I was saying I like Emma, but we got to see that Gilda is like, I don't think that Norman's plan. Like, I guess I mean you already know my perspective from Slime. I don't think Norman's plan is that bad. Like, it's not great, especially if they're going to have to kill
some
Maj,
Mujika,
Maj
yeah,
Mujika
Mujika,
and other one. Like, that's not a great plan, but it's the best plan they have, right?
I mean,
Because
okay,
Emma's being idealist, like, because like
she is.
she wants everyone to live together in happy, like, peace and everything. But it's like,
What she
what
really
if your
wants.
plan causes two or three of your siblings to die? Like, are you going to say? Oh, I prefer this plan, even though like we all could have been saved, right? So it's like,
Well, okay. I think the problem is Norman is making this decision for everybody, and he hasn't he's obviously consulted with his Lambda people, but he just re-met them. Let me give you an analog to this, right? Like, okay, if I'm talking about convention stuff and somebody makes a suggestion, I may have already explored that that idea. Like somebody says you should have X, Y, or Z at the show. I think that this would be great, and you have this problem, and this would help solve it. And I may already know the answer to that because I've already looked into it. This happens a lot. People come in with, I have an idea. Okay, but I listen to them because you never know when somebody's going to have a different perspective. The problem is, I think you're right that Norman is like dying or something. So he's like, but because of that, I don't think he's going to. I think he should have done this without telling them. The smarter thing for Norman to have done if he wanted to commit this genocide, which I don't necessarily agree with, is just not have told them. Because I think he's smart enough to have known that Emma would be against it. That Emma would be against the whole idea of it, of the idea of wiping out a race or a species from the planet. If he were like firing on all cylinders, I feel like he shouldn't have told her and just done it. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I don't think not telling her is the correct plan, because then like she'd never forgive him. Like,
No, but it doesn't matter if he's dying and he's going to go against what she wants to do anyway, which is what we're at right now. Because clearly he's going against what he's only using her to get the evil blooded
yeah,
Mujika. You
he's
know,
trying to drag in Mujika into this, and I'm like, I don't, I want to like Mujika, and I want to trust her, but there's not a lot of reasons to completely trust her, especially
right?
the Sanju, whatever. Like, he definitely is not trustworthy, and he'll turn on them in a heartbeat if he needs to.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I think Norman telling Emma isn't a mistake. And I think if he wasn't dying, I feel like they could have like taken their time with this a little bit. But I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying not to give it away because I know what the end is because I read the manga.
Yeah,
Um, but I feel like he should have seen this. Like they're very analytical. The kids are incredibly analytical, and they think through like 5 different steps down the chessboard. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if this were if this were really Norman, and this were really Norman, being at peak Norman, he wouldn't have told her. He would have just not done it. Kind of like how Ray didn't tell.
I think that's Ray.
No,
I think Ray would have done it without telling her.
The smarter decision would have been not to tell her, because I can tell you that she's gonna screw it up. She's gonna screw up his plans. I think that's pretty obvious. That, it's leading to that. If he'd have just not told her and just been like, "Yeah, we're fighting demons and we're trying to survive, and it's nice to see you, and maybe we'll get together after next week, and then next week do the thing,"
Yeah. So,
but that's just.
Well, I have to wait and see, but hopefully we do get more information in the flashback.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know how they caught that big guy though. The guy he locked in the basement.
So throughout the manga, at least, and this is not a big spoiler, they get much better at fighting demons, like different methods of fighting demons and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah.
All right, 3-0.
Where am I at?
Let me scroll down to
My
my notes.
Yeah.
My note is Subaru is dumb.
Subaru's got a big speech for Beatrice this time, because we need another motivational speech from Subaru. You know what? I needed more of my life talking from Subaru. Let me tell you.
I hate it. And it's so let me explain real quick one thing about Beatrice. Beatrice, you know that Echidna is her mom.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, in many episodes ago, it got explained that Echidna gave Beatrice a book and said, "Hey, here's your gospel. This has like the information you need in order to like live out your days." And she's a troll. The book was blank, and she knew it was blank. She was like, "Whatever. I'm just going to give my kid this blank book and see how she reacts." Right? And she also told her that someday you're going to meet some guy or somebody that's important is going to come in, and that person is going to save you. And just left it really broad and not descriptive, right? So one day someone's going to save you, and you have to wait for that person. And there's no person. Beatrice literally just gave her kid this book and that information to see how her kid will react and see if her kid will pick somebody someday. Like, she wanted to see who she would pick. Like the person, the quote unquote person, is whoever Beatrice chooses to be that person. And she wanted to see what type of person Beatrice will pick. So Subaru was told this. Subaru was told there is no person, that you are the person simply because Beatrice likes you and you want to help her. You are simply that person just because. And he comes into the room and like, "No, I'm not the person. I don't know what you're talking about." You are the person. Just tell her, "I'm the person. Let's go. Someone's trying to kill you. Let's go." Like, it's that simple.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I can't stand
don't
Subaru.
understand. I also don't understand why Trial 2 even needed to exist, because clearly he had no trouble whatsoever with the trial, and then she just walked back out to walk back in again. Why aren't they just like back to back? That doesn't make sense.
Know.
She's not like sleeping.
So the whole thing is you gotta do your past, present, and future. So next week is gonna be future, but it's like it doesn't. Why? It's just so. Why is this drawn out like this?
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. I don't.
Yeah.
This whole show, and this is always the longest episode, because this episode was like 30 minutes long and like didn't have an opening. It just went through with more content, and it's like, why does the longest episode have to be the show that I don't like that much? Like, come on, man.
Here's something else here's another problematic direction the show is going, right? So when we first get introduced to Amelia in episode 1, she is presented as being the same age as Subaru. Like, they're both 17-year-olds, even though like we kind of assume she's an elf. She might be older than that, but she gets her mental age is like 17. That's what we believe, right? Now that she has her memories back and she remembers being a child, Amelia's only been quote unquote alive for 14 years. She's been alive for 14 years. She just looks older than like Gabriel, right? He looks 17, but he's really 14. And now that she remembers being her child, her mental age is reverting back to 14. Like, that's why the way she talks, the voice actor intentionally adds in more childish type tones to everything Amelia says. And now, and she's obsessed with Subaru now. Before, she was like standoffish because she couldn't remember anything, and Subaru wasn't like. She was kind of like she liked him as a friend, but she was like standoffish towards him. Now she's romantically interested in him, but her mental age is 3 years younger. So it feels like this kind of like reverse grooming where like
Yeah,
she's
weird.
like she doesn't have the like she's acting like a child, and she's like everything she's doing for the last 4 episodes is mimicking things Subaru did in other timelines or other seasons, right? Like the whole thing when
Yeah.
she just jumped off a cliff, that it was a parallel to the way Subaru jumped off a cliff in season 1. The way she introduced herself to Echinana, she literally copied Subaru's into exact word for word. So she's like super obsessed with him now, and is copying all his moves from previous seasons, and it's a little concerning.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's pretty creepy.
So ReZero never ceases to be iffy about the directions it's
Yeah,
going. So
I like the Beast people. I like Garfield and his sister.
yeah,
That's
they're nice. Garfield
I like.
finally isn't a emo crying boy anymore. I don't know.
Oh, he seemed like Angry Boy. He seemed like a Bakugo. Like
Yeah,
that's where
that's his type.
Bakugo
He's
just
just Bakugo.
screams. He doesn't really cry. He just screams, and shouts. And,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad we're through with ReZero for this week. Dr. Stone. I gotta flip back. My notes are all over the place. We should put these more in
Yeah.
order of the slideshow.
Well, I mean, maybe we can. I suppose we can. I mean, the order is nice. We kind of go from like good show, bad show. We don't have a lull, so the order is nice. But
I think this
so
episode, this image is from last week, and I'm sorry, I just took the one I found, so sorry about that.
it's fine.
But the big crux of this week is that the chick that's I don't remember anybody's name in Doctor Stone other than Senku. The chick that he that he undid first is now taking pieces of people that Tsukasa has smashed and gluing them back together in private. And Ukyo
You
found this out.
cannot gorilla glue people back together.
So
We as a society have recently learned that you cannot humans and your gorilla glue do not mix. We've recently learned this as a society. You can't
well,
do
Eric,
this. Whatever
I
adhesive they're using to glue these rocks together, when they come back as a full person, that adhesive is going to be in their bloodstream. You cannot have gorilla glue coursing through your blood. Like
you can't
it doesn't
survive.
work.
You can't survive encased in rock as a Medusa for like freaking 3,000 years
I'm
either.
willing to
Okay,
overlook that. I'm willing to overlook
okay.
that.
Well, I
I'm
hate
not
to
willing to
tell you
overlook
this.
people having gorilla
I'm
glue in their bloodstream.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a manga spoiler for you, in that they glue a lot of pieces of people back together from here into
I can
eternity.
imagine. I
Okay,
can
this
imagine.
happens a lot in this manga. Okay, a
Who is
lot.
Frank and Fran? Who is Frank
I
and
don't know who
Fran?
Frank and Fran is.
Frank and Fran wishes to speak to you in the chat. I don't know. But whoever she is, if she's gluing people back together, like that's no, stop her.
Yeah, so now they're gluing people back together, and Senku is on his way in the weird gorilla boat tank thing to fight with Tsukasa and
I
get the
like that they
cave.
kept the tank though. I like they have the tank.
I'm glad that you're enjoying our faces and the visuals. You should hear us arguing with each other.
Yeah. Lesson of the day. You can't gorilla glue people back together.
But you can in Dr. Stone. I'm just telling you. You
Don't try
absolutely
this at home, kids. Don't try
They're
this at
saving
home.
people's lives. They are saving people's lives. You want to murder and consume the souls of 10,000 people. And you won't let
20,000.
these people glue them together. Glue together people to save their lives.
Whatever.
Eric, I question every bit of your ethics now, okay? I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Who are you? Do I even know you anymore?
Apparently not.
I really need you to watch Berserk now, because I feel like you just don't. It's the perfect reference to this, and I need you to get it.
I'm sure it is. I'll watch it when I'm not watching 14 shows.
Yeah, watch the 3 Berserk movies that came out. Don't watch the whole series.
Okay.
Just watch like the redo movies that they did. They're really good quality. I think they're even on Netflix, or they were. But you should watch them.
I might.
But yeah,
I don't know if I can sneak it in, but I'm off. I took a 2 week vacation from my job, and so I might try to watch Log Horizon and the shows that we drop now.
gotcha.
I have to catch up on that.
Hey, you didn't tell me you took a 2-week vacation. We should hang out at the end of that 2 weeks because you will have isolated for 2 weeks, and then I can see you again and we can hang out.
But then I have to
Yeah.
go back to work.
Yeah, you have to go back to work. I mean, before you go back to work, like after at the end of it,
Okay.
we can hang out and be cool. Because I miss you. Okay, I just miss you, man. But yeah, Dr. Stone, you were gluing people back together. That's our modus operandi now. So look forward to more of that, Erik. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
dear brother.
dear brother. Why did you put this on the list? This show is so bad. It's so bad.
It's
Like,
classic
so
JoJo. This is like a seminal show. Like, this is like a really influential show. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not making that up. Okay.
so
How much of it did you
episode
watch?
one feels like episode one felt like a recap of 3 other episodes because like it was just going through so many plot points. Like it wasn't even a show. It was just a sequence of plot points. It's like, oh, I'm going to school. Oh, I'm being forcibly yanked off a bus by this mysterious woman. Oh, the mysterious woman is an executive at my school. And there's another mysterious woman that the first mysterious woman knows. That's just, why are these people so tall? Why are they so tall?
Welcome to
Like-
1980s JoJo. Welcome to it.
This image doesn't even do her height justice because when it's animated, it looks like she's like towering over these people. It doesn't even look proportional. It looks like there's just a massive building in the middle of the classroom. It's ridiculous.
All right. So it gets much crazier than what you think it is. All right. So you watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. All right.
I watched 2.
So her little the black haired chick that's like got real dark hair that meets her in the first episode and has like the painted fingernails. She's like legitimately crazy, like insane.
With the purple
she
dress?
has some real insane things going on. All right.
Is that my
This is
purple
the
dress
one
girl?
Yeah. She got a purple dress. She got real dark hair. Yeah, she's legitimately like
she's a
insane.
psychopath.
Yeah, she's a psychopath.
I picked that up.
Yeah, but
like,
no,
she was so aggressive.
They're like BFFs later too. I mean, like it goes through a lot of stages, but they're BFFs later. So this is Lady Sanjusta-sama. Okay, Sanjusta-sama is addicted to pills, smokes a whole lot, had a suicide pact with the girl, the woman with the curly hair, the really tall one that runs a sorority with the curly hair. That's her half
of all people.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's her half sister, and they had a suicide pact like several years ago that Sanjus tried to go through and has a scar on her arm underneath that bracelet she wears, and the other girl totally ditched on it. But the other girl is like a sadist and keeps Sanjusta like under her thumb basically because Sanjus can't deal with her. And their other friend, the one that plays basketball, has breast cancer and had a double mastectomy. And they don't tell you that. They just say that she was sick and she was out of school or whatever. But like, she's like seriously hurt. And she wound up having an old fiance and she broke up with him because she didn't want him to like have to deal with her and the breast cancer. And then like the two, Sanjust and Fukiko Ichinomiya-san, the princess, they have a brother that's like their other half brother, and their brother is the guy who's best friends with the dear brother that she keeps writing to. By the way, the dear brother that she keeps writing to is her father's son from his previous marriage, and you don't even know that yet. Everybody's related.
So the guy, hold on. So the brother that she's writing to is her former teacher, right?
Yep.
Is that former teacher the same?
Brother, and he doesn't know.
But is that the same guy that's in the beginning of the very first episode where he's like, who are you? Is that the same guy? Because the first guy had black hair and he has brown hair.
It's the same guy.
Okay. Because I was like, who is this man? Who is this man? The guy in the beginning? Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess that makes. Makes sense.
So her brother is Henmi Takemi or I don't know. Henmi is his name, right? And her stepfather, his first marriage, they're step siblings, I guess. Yeah, his first marriage failed, and he divorced his wife, and then he married her mom when she was like 2 or 3 or something like that. And then he became like a happy family with her mom, but his previous son was like jealous, so he came to see, and that was the scene with the little girl where he met the little girl. But yeah, and Henry, the guy she's been writing to, is the one who was in love with a basketball player, and the basketball player dumped him because she didn't want him to suffer. And yeah, and his best friend is the brother of San Justo and the princess. And San Justo and the princess are either step siblings or half siblings. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But there's a lot going on. Like a lot.
I saw in your notes this feels like a soap opera. Yes, I think I've seen all these plots some in multiple soap operas. Like I think this is like a little bit of One Life to Live with some Port Charles thrown in, like General Hospital a little bit. Like this is the whole universe.
Welcome to Dear Brother. I'm on episode 22, I think, as of today. So
I can't believe you're watching something so terrible.
I'm watching all of it.
I'd rather watch Log Horizon. I'd rather watch Log Horizon.
That's insulting, Eric. That's insulting. I can't believe you said that. Are you ready to spin for this week? We're a little early this week, but there was no Wonder Egg. We didn't get to gush about Wonder Egg for like 15 minutes. We don't have a ton left, so I might have to roll more than once. Let's see. Maybe something better than Dear Brother.
I hope.
Gotta roll again. 6. All right. Got an old one this time. It's one of mine. Sorry.
Oh no, it's from Jess's list.
This one's kind of weird. This is Demon City Shinjuku. It's a movie or an OVA. I think it's a movie. It's on Verve. It's very 80s. It is the epitome of 1980s anime. And I don't mean like the shoujo stuff. I mean like hardcore, like weird cyberpunk topless women 80s anime. Okay. But yeah, Demon City Shinjuku is what we're watching.
So this is this is the OVA. It's just one episode, 80 minutes. Is that correct?
Like one chunk. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not super long from what I remember. I haven't watched it in a long time. I probably watched it like when I was in high school or something. I mean, like it's been a really long time since I've watched this. But it is I think it's the oldest thing on my list. Yeah, it's the oldest thing on my list. But you're lucky because you did not. Dear Brother's from either like 89 or 92, kind of right in that range. Demon City Shinjuku is probably from the mid 80s, if I had to guess. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's from the mid 80s. I didn't get anything older than the 80s because I feel like that would have been a little much. I mean, I could have put some like Tezuka stuff on here, like Phoenix 2772 that was like mid 80s OVA, but that would have been hard to find. Like I don't even think I could find that.
Our selection was so polar opposite. I picked everything from like 2013. And then you're like, oh, let me go for 1988. Okay.
Yeah, mine are kind of all over the board, but all of mine are fairly old because I wanted to pick things I didn't think you had seen. Like things that I've seen I didn't think you had seen. So, but Demon City Shinjuku for next time. There's 2 more on my list and 3 more on yours. So, one of mine is from the 2000s though, but it's a booby show. So look forward to a booby show in your future.
Okay.
I gotta represent all aspects of my personality.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, chat, if you guys have suggestions to fill in some of our gaps since we're getting to the end of our list, feel free to let us know. As long as they're real suggestions that we can find on some easy to find platform like Verve, Funimation, or Retro Crush or Crunchyroll or something like that. Don't give me anything weird, and if you say Boku no Pico, I'm gonna personally reach through the computer and slap you. I hate to tell you this, but everyone in chat, I've seen more anime than you. I mean, that is what it is. No, I think me and Darius are on the same level of seeing as much anime as we have. We've just seen different eras of anime. Like, Darius has seen way more anime from the 80s than me, but I've seen way more anime, more modern than Darius has in a lot of ways. So we're on the same level. I feel like we're comparable in a lot of ways. So
All right, we need to have like an anime quiz team because I have the like the modern niche stuff, like the stuff that like is from 2000 to like 2020 that like isn't on anybody's radar. I've probably seen it.
oh, Battle and Brew just announced another Sailor Moon trivia, and I definitely I'd be really good.
I can't give you anything on Sailor Moon. That's
I couldn't. I'm an expert in that. So Cameron, no, Dungeon Meshi is not an anime yet. It is only a manga, which is tragic because Dungeon Meshi is fantastic, and we should all be watching it if it were available. But yeah, if you have not read Dungeon Meshi, please read Dungeon Meshi. It's really fun. It's called Delicious in Dungeon in the States. So I mean, I could add how heavy are the dumbbells that you lift to it. That's an instructional show. I love that show.
I watched almost all that. I think I didn't watch the last 3 episodes, but I watched most of it.
You gotta watch the last one because they do a competition on the beach. They do like a bodybuilding competition on the beach, and it's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, I didn't intend to drop it. It's just I just forgot to watch.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining us this week for Anime Book Club. We will be back next week for episodes 9 and then 11 of Cells at Work. And we'll be watching Demon City Shinjuku as our spin the wheel for next time. I can't wait for it.
We're almost done with Jess's list. We're almost done.
The last one is gonna be the worst anime I've ever seen, and you're gonna be like, terrible. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad, Eric. I couldn't understand it.
I want to read the Spark Notes. I want to read the Spark Notes and pretend I saw it.
I think it's a 2-episode OVA, so you got to watch both of them. And they're only like 20 minutes, I think, so it's not like a big time commit or anything. But
okay,
it's pretty awful. Shinjuku. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched Demon City Shinjuku, so it'll be fairly new for me too. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that holds up. Pro tip: probably not that well, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
All right. See ya.